Yeah. Here we go, y'all. Yeah. It's livicated. Iron sheep. Kiss mama bye, I'm on the road to stardom. Turn back, on the conscious road, no stardom. Just cause I'm an MC, I must be a fan. My faves growing up, S blank, Cam and Sham. Intrepid styles, brass tacks. The whole Flemo Park, can't forget our tracks. Big Daddy KNC, Scoob and Scrap. Express myself like Ice Cube, no Raiders cap. 2CMP got me subliminally. Glancing through Dr. Ben books since 93. Paid no mind to that, into money and power. Shab and BB were giants, they top of the tower. Now I'm into crack and gats. Hats to the back in polo. Thanks G-Rap, Lord Finesse and Daddy IU fresh. Wanted Hirachis and Jordans with the mesh. Didn't self-destruct to get them, I just waited. Hearing Jeff transform as he cross-faded. Travel Fox and Buffalinos, suits of silk. Bumped into Base Sport when I went to buy milk. He said no deal, I don't care like D. Leave that to me, she mom is my priority first. Heard Stop, Look and Listen, Love Light. Saw the Power album, loved Ice-T's wife. Digging through the crates, Diamond D, Master Ace. When 88.1 played Apocalypse and Ace. Deal with your case, LL kinda bad. Nowadays rappers show their chest cause they fag. Walls of posters, MCs and boasters. What's the boot camp crew chant before Escoshka? EFPMD brought Redman to me, Big L and Special Ed Tony Touch instead. Cause he dropped the 50 MCs, all of my faves. I livicate this to MCs that's now in the grave. I like to livicate this to hip hop. The 5 elements, Bunda-ish hop. Giving respect, cause of you I made it. Big up the Black Dot, cause he helped us save it. I like to livicate this to the DJs. I like to livicate this to the dancers. I like to livicate this to the MCs. I like to livicate this to the graphers. With no positive influence, I love to like Carmen. All they do today is dances and collar popping. Won't guard and knuckle up, but quick to ice and grills. Today nursery rhymers by rapping Jack and Jills. Climbing up Stevens Hill to fetch a pail of water. Seeing girls dressed to it, I couldn't be my daughter. Ladies first is what Latifah used to say. Play the dyke and set it off cause the queen is gay. Nasty Nas was a rebel to America. Coming through the main source causing hysteria. In this track I'm not gonna name them all, cause they know who they are and I'm not trying to ball. Even if Jerry was bald, he's still God. You can't stop the prophet, Lord. Only woo I bought was liquid sword. Onyx in the headphone when I stepped on the ball court. Used to shoot lots so they called me Trigger. Dunking on Euros when they called me nigga and thought. Even had a stint with Too Short and Tim Dog. When head was called Rim Job. Monolith and us battled at Notre Dame. We still fam today and we don't owe the game. Not a dime or a penny, no Henny for me. Rappers are butter knives, I'm a cutlass machete. No self-destruction, I'll leave you alone. Extra terror, I shall make you phone home. Rappers getting pissed off and grabbing the chrome. We all in the same gang, this ain't the game, man. Business as usual, still unfinished. The lights of hip-hop will never see limits. To the old school that turned new school mule. Sold out the vets to be a new fool. I like to livicate this to hip-hop. The 5 elements, Bunda-ish hop. Giving respect, cause of you I made it. Big up the Black Dot, cause he helped us save it. I like to livicate this to the DJs. I like to livicate this to the dancers. I like to livicate this to the MCs. I like to livicate this to the graphers.
And I know what time it is.
Yo, me too, bro. Yeah. Iron Sheep. Moorish Master MC. Hey, yo. What up? You already know. Audio Mechanics, what up? Yo. No need for a swatch watch. I read the time in the signs like prophets and seers. Put a hex on the beers. Put some wicker on Leopold and Mussolini offspring. To the ancestors, fill their blood as my offering. Oshunola Kunyeme, show me reflections in water like balls of crystal. Walls with penis missiles. Sun gaze and sea gods peeping from behind. I'm learning to love instead of hate and be kind, cause yes, I know. I'm thinking it's time for the wake up. Good morning as I'm yawning. Check my phone, it's only 2 a.m. Thoughts bubble like a cauldron. Feeling the tonin drip from my pineal gland. Activating my mitochondrial DNA strands. Stimulating my chakras like a camera captures. I did foresee the rapture, stones falling in Turkey like rain from the sky. My farmer shoveling thousands of bees that died from radioactive waves from cell phone towers. As niggas babble and debate falsehood for hours. No PhD, but they call themselves doctors. We living in the time of false prophets. When we hear them speak, got the feeling awkward. It's like they speak a language I don't understand or talk with. Their tongue fork like utensils, and they stay playing with your mental.
I know what time it is.
Young offender on the grid. I've been doing a bit since a little kid. Then it was the adult side. I lose my respect if I let it slide. Then it slid. I kept my flow hid, and the words don't skid. With respect to the house, here's a piece on me. If you wanna leave calmly, while they're busy smoking, I'm easy roping with the hot blonde wide open. The jaws wasn't joking. Pop your lids unless you really wanna live. Stop the fibs with one less ribs. Engineering anonymous. Is it preposterous? They could doctor us. Is it ancient chemist or is it just genetic? All I get is aesthetic. 2 million years of history, just forget it. If you let it, don't you dare ruin your credit as I stare at your social club pinky swear. A supreme being intervened. It was something green. I didn't know how to adjust the screen. Second look, it was just as clean. Dust a fiend with some muscle cream. Let her know this is not a dream. My flow is a stream to the most pristine. You never seen this like me.
The rhyme pattern and design so intricate. You'll never see the sign, so here's a kick. But don't F around with mine or the syndicate. You straight stay in line or the stink again. Like you on a landmine in a sinking pit. It's not just your music, only stink like shit. We see right through you phony, you counterfeit. Pass a piece of Frano, wanna roll a split. Where I'm from in Toronto, all we know is flip. Firm grip, on the grip, gotta hold his hip. All they know is download and loading clips. I just rep the G code, we ain't new to this. Don't let me get it beast mode, metamorphosis. Yo, we got the street zone, no forcefulness. And all the ether zone, call me Morpheus. Find our way home, more free us. No scissors and comb, nagas niggas. Blood and bone, muscle tissue, form fetus. And we never on our own, Allah feeds us.
I keep it roping, I'm eloping. Well spoken, here's a token. Genuine, no joking. And if I pause, my mind is in motion. Who's up next for the smoking while I'm bearing arms? I'm steady toting a brain load of weaponry, ready to expose it. The stories of all lies, I got the man secure to host this. Many wanna post it and run game and then revoke it. You better off dead. The majority is voted. I post playing, giving you a dosage. The punchline is potent, knocking niggas out like a close fist. Coming from the rats and the roaches. Many want to say that the one who came the closest to royalty and fame, and after the president approaches, acknowledge what my name is and claim an island off the coast. Yes, my chronology is most best. Floating like a lotus, I'm heavy in the streets. Take notice, I've arrived. There's the chance for me to blow this.
Read the future through the stars, or Tarot of Moors. Cut you with the scimitar or shadow sword. Then in Callaway, our names are Moors of Europe. Black and Indians say lying and selling you hope. Dirty Moors tell you MST of A is religious. Replace Jesus with Drew Ali singing hymns like Christians. Emmanuel I said be a human rights reader, but Ross play games in Moorish Jalabiyas. Nuwapians know the dog gave him circle 7 lessons and call him a nation of Moors in 360 questions. Hebrew Israelites are Moorish, Zionist Jews, but has the mothers in the back of tabernacle rooms. Praying to the patriarch when Ark is the womb. Reincarnated Drew Ali written on given soon. Drew Ali reincarnated is also Fard Muhammad, claiming the prophet, but he's all about profit. $sign odds, 10 grand for a package. King of the Moor smearing feces, that's so savage. They're not against me, but against Drew Ali. They're not adjective like black collar or Somali. Jumping over Negro and say more means blacks as nigga leaders with scholarship off track. Should face a firing squad with lies like that. BLM leaders, mansions, every state on the map. No guilt or remorse, they face on billboards, but police victims in courts as a status quo wards. Mothers mourning, hiring civil rights attorneys. Most of them are not worthy and job turkeys. Make you march and picket, no one sees you like midgets. No matter how hard you fidget, choked out for 10 minutes. Been dead for 7 on your highway to heaven. They get off with the wrist slap, but not charged like a felon. You can't see what I can see. You're blind, baby. You're blind from the facts. You can't see what I can see. You're blind, baby. Your mind is so black. You can't see what I can see. You're blind, baby. You're blind from the facts. You can't see what I can see.
That's those black
You're blind,
glasses right
baby.
there, them
Your
black
mind is so
glasses,
black.
You said meet them where they're at? Been there, done that. Sounds like you want me going back to being black. Dead carcass, a dead status, same difference. All in experience. Blacks get you shot up, but Moors made them shut up. Double cup, that's protection. Every man to a nation. Negotiate for what? When you have the Constitution. I'm a Negro or what? You need permission, not prohibitive, privilege. Like you're somebody's kid. I guess that's the way we live. Nah, free national standards. I'm nobody's bastard. Land, air, water. That spells law, but you're blind, baby. I told you, you're blind, baby. Message for the percolating. Don't shoot my birdie, more science and facts. Fiction is the movie. Look at where you act. If you don't believe me, then study. Then you will know, and you will grow. You will know, and you will grow. Fly, baby.
You can't see what I can see. You're blind, baby. You're blind from the facts. You can't see what I can see. You're blind, baby. Your mind is so black. You can't see what I can see. You're blind, baby. You're blind from the facts. You can't see what I can see. You're blind, baby. Your mind is so black. I know what Dirty Moors, yeah. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I'm saying, I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I'm going at dirty rappers, lynching Dirty Moors too. Hiding literature that Drew wrote to warn you. They claim to make you Muslim and make you sovereign. With paperwork and filings, with fiat they rob it. They don't care about his words, throw it out like garbage. Or throw it at you when you're active, not passive. When they wanna talk a bounce like off a trampoline mattress, treat them like a vamp or a teen actress. Get stamped with the brand like a mean savage. This Inquisition divine, all others average. Millennium Renaissance, heroes in our classes. Fed up with the czar controlling facets. Ask if they heard about Moors, they say no. But Masons, they obviously know. Down the handshakes and rituals with skull and bones. They even know about owls burning Bohemian Grove. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. Dirty Moors killed Drew. I read the FBI papers on loyal Moors, emergency fund rapers, Moorish literature and divine bylaw changes. Might as well say Drew Ali was born in a manger. Prophet puts poison aside and his food smelled danger. Got me treating every Moor like a stranger. Grand sheep pumpkin stumbling drunk in their feds. What was proclaimed for every meeting was not read. Some Moors are so active, prophet can't be dead. Thanks Moorish teachers away, I can't be led. Actions speak, then I consider what's said. And what's said was study, then study yourself. Honors to the prophet, Lord True Ali. I know what dirty Moors did to True Ali. Everybody wants to be just like True Ali, but nobody wants to care about True Ali. I know what dirty Moors did to True Ali. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did to True Ali. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did to True Ali. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did to True Ali. I know what dirty Moors did.
Well, these were African, Arab, Asian values. The only section of Europe that had a high value system during the Dark Ages were those on the Iberian Peninsula in the Spanish, Portuguese area, southern France. And that high state of culture existed there because Africans, known as Moors, had come there and brought it there.
Islam, Moors. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We're here, another Wednesday, and it seems like just with Sons of Allah. Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that this is episode 11 on the 22nd? It's a coincidence? Nah. Allah guides this too, just like the Moorish movement. Allah guides this. And since Allah guides this, we're going to do it with as much sincerity and honor as we can. Honors to all the Moors in the chat. Any new Moors out there, welcome. This is Canaanland Moors YouTube. We got a few thousand videos on here. So go get lost in knowing who you are. I don't think we have any BS content. Everything's pretty straightforward. So make sure you tap into the video section, or you can go to the playlist and see the different stuff we got in the playlist on here. Well, let's get right in. Someone had messaged that they were reading the Moorish literature, and one of the articles in the Moorish literature they wanted some elaboration on. That is called Following Our Leaders, because they weren't understanding the concept of following our leaders. So we're just going to read that and then talk about what it's talking about in here. As well, if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. Just make sure you put it in the chat in all caps so it doesn't get lost in the Moors Mufti force in the chat. Following our leaders. The thousands of Moorish Americans will follow their leaders, regardless of propaganda put forth by those who have designs to hinder them in the work for the advancement of their people. We will not stop to question the requisites, qualifications, nor anything else, so long as our leaders, who has investigated and passed on the course of action which we feel is enough endorsement for us to act. We have known that the first attempt to crush the leaders of any movement or organization is to plant dissension among their followers. Such will never be the case with the Moorish Americans, for when we have chosen our leader, that within itself tells the world that we are going to follow them. All of the knocks and slams that come from anyone against our leaders will be ignored by us. Where they lead us, we will follow. So the perspective, the concept here is that the Moorish American leaders are moving in the right direction, which is why we follow them. The problem that has taken place is that some of the leaders sold us out, and people follow them anyways, because again, Noble Drew Ali told these Moors, follow their leaders. Right? Anywhere the leaders go, the people will follow. The people will not stop to question the requisites, qualifications, nor anything else, as long as our leaders who have investigated and passed on the course of action, which we feel is enough endorsement for us to act. The Moorish Americans have gotten into a place of passivity because they're sitting back with the expectation that these leaders are going to do what they're supposed to do, or these leaders have been doing what they're supposed to do. All leaders of the Moorish movement, Moorish nation, should be judged by their actions, not what they flap from their gums and their lips. All Moorish leaders should be investigated by the members, by the body politic, to make sure that they're living based on honor and principles. That's on the membership. That's on the Moors of the nation. So when you see a traitor or a dirty Moor, and then they have a bunch of people following them, that should be a sign to you that the people who are following them obviously haven't researched this individual. They're just going on, well, they said so, or they have a picture with some other Moor who's prominent, so we're going to go with what they're saying. My mindset is the only leader is Drew Ali. And everybody else is just another member. I don't care what title they got. The only leader is Noble Drew Ali, and anybody else, they're just another Moor. And if they're doing great work, if they've done great work, round of applause for them for not dropping the ball. But the only individual that I'm going with 100% without questioning and all that stuff is Noble Drew Ali. I'm not doing that with the leaders. Right? Even if the leaders prove themselves to me, yes, we would back them. Yes, we would support them. You know, depending on where they're going, yeah, we might follow them because they paid their dues. They're living by the principles. They're doing the things necessary for Moors as a whole, not for just their selfish self. Right? Not just for their selfish self, but for the Moors as a whole. So following our leaders doesn't mean just chase anybody because they say that they're a Moorish leader. Following leaders means that they must be tested. You cannot just chase somebody with a fez or a turban on. That's not what Noble Drew Ali is saying. They have to be living by a certain standard. They have to be. Because this is that time now where, there's many charlatans out here. There's many traitors out here. There's many sellouts out here. There's many quislings out here. There's many dirty Moors out here. So don't just go running after a Moor because their nationality card looks cool. So we're gonna follow them. Fact check everybody. Make sure you fact check everybody. And that's for your own, right? Because like we're saying, we have long known that the first attempt to crush leaders of any movement or organization is to plant dissension among their followers. So if you're a Moor that's following some Moor, right? And somebody pops up, says, I don't know about that Moor. You shouldn't listen to that Moor because that Moor is this and that Moor is that or whatever. Take them up on what they're talking about. Go check. Prove them wrong. And if you end up proving yourself wrong and proving these people right, don't get into the emotional feelings saying, well, he gave me my nationality card, or she was the one that taught me how to tie my shoelaces. So even though she's a sellout and a traitor, I'm still going to listen to her. No, don't go there. You're going to end up playing yourself. Right? So always fact check the people claiming leadership in the Moorish nation. Always fact check them. And once you fact check them, once you prove to yourself that these people are credible, then yes, follow them as far as they're going. But don't just go blindly following some Moor. Don't do that. You're going to get yourself in issues. All right. Somebody asked in the chat, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, study yourself, and when you are done, study yourself. Did he mean the inner self? He meant the higher self? He meant the lower self? He meant the inner self, the outer self? How many ever selves that you find out that you are? Study all those. Any selves that you find out that you are, study those. Your mental self, study your mental self. Study your etheric self. Study your CELLF self. Study the entire range of selves that we are. From your base to your crown. To your clairvoyant and intuitive self. Because yes, Noble Drew Ali knew exactly what he was talking about when he made those claims to Moors. Study, study, study. And when you studied well and asked me what to study next, I would reply, study yourself. Yourself has many levels. So study as many of the levels of yourself that you can find out about. Study all of them. Study them all. It's in your best interest to do that. Right? It's in your best interest to do that. Just so you know. It's not going to hurt you to know all yourselves. It's not a negative to study. Because once you study, you're learning. And once you're learning, you're going to be questioning. And once you're questioning, that's wisdom. Because Drew Ali told the Moors, wise man He's always questioning, which is why we're doing the Q&A, so that Moors could bring their questions and get some clarity, get a little bit more. Right. Next question. I'm just starting to learn about Moor's history and claiming my nationality. Where is the best place to start to study who the Moors are and how I am related as a descendant? I want to be confident when I tell people who I am. How can I get there? Great question. So we'll go from the back. How can you get to this place of feeling confident about who you are? Equate learning about Moorish nationality and birthrights with learning about any other subject matter. If you say, I want to be a brain surgeon, you already know you got at least 10 years post-secondary. Like at least. And then wherever else it goes after that. It's not going to be some overnight thing. It's not going to be some you read this one book and then now you're a brain surgeon. So if you want to be confident with regard to this information, then it's going to take putting in the work to have confidence. Right? In sports, they say it's 10,000 catches, 10,000 shots. There's a certain plateau that you have to reach in order to be in the position to say you're confident. In the Moorish paradigm, we say we go in hours. Right? How much time have you put into studying? How much time has gone in? Many people want to put in no time and want to claim confidence. Many people want to put in no time. So one of the best ways, to start the pattern was to go to the Moorish Science Temple of America. And when you go to the Moorish Science Temple of America, you'll get all the Juali information on top of whatever other information all those sheikesses in a Moorish Science Temple have. They're going to have the reference points. They're going to have the books. They're going to have everything that you would need to start, moving in the direction of knowing this information. Because of the sellout of the Moorish Science Temples of America, majority of people who've gone to the temples to learn realize that they're playing church, or they're playing Masonic Lodge, or they're playing whatever it is that they're playing. So people started running away from the temple because of this stigma that came about with Moorish leadership who were sellouts and traitors not using the Moorish Science Temple for what it was supposed to be used for. So at this point, this time that we're in right now, 2023, there's very limited amounts of temples that you can go to, right? So you're gonna have to go to them, check them out, challenge them on what they're presenting, ask your questions, and see how it goes, and if you're willing to stay there to continue your learning, right? Because there are some legitimate temples out there. And then when you go to the temple, you're going to get all of Noble Juali's information and all that, all his books, so that you can have Noble Juali as a foundation in your studying. because that's the nucleus. Noble Drew Ali and what he brought is the nucleus to the learning about your nationality and your birthrights, because he's the one that brought everything back to us and told us to save ourselves with it. So when you exhaust those means and you realize that, well, this isn't working out, I don't know about, Moorish Science Temple, don't throw the temple away. Look at it as that temple has botched leadership. The leadership of that temple, there's issues there, which is why you're not gonna go or whatever. You're not gonna, throw the temple away. Temple never did anything to anybody. Temple never robbed anybody. Temple never mistaught anybody. It's the people in the seats of the temple that caused the issues. So after that, whether you found a good temple and everything's perfect, or whether you found some BS and you're disgruntled at this building that you went to, where these people are singing hymns to Noble Drew Ali or whatever. The next best thing is a website called rvbaypublications.com. rvbaypublications.com is considered to many of the Moors who study as the only Moorish online university, right? And it's a university that's free. All you have to do is have the discipline, have the drive to want to know. You go to that website, and guaranteed you will know. You will be absolutely clear as to what being a Moor is, what your nationality is, what your birthrights are, what spirituality is, what astrology is. And once you study from the website, you're eventually going to get to that place where you can start purchasing literature. And then when you start purchasing literature from the website, then you're going to get even more information. Right? And then keep in mind that many of the Grand Sheiks, Grand Governors, Moorish Science Temple of America members, when we came into this information in 2008, they were telling people go to rvbaypublications.com even though they were in a temple. They were telling people go there. Right? Because even in 2008, that was the online university for Moors. And then now the place has been flooded with everybody able to make a website and teach whatever information. Right? Whatever information. Right? Going online, Googling Moors and researching, you're probably going to get lost. You're going to bump into some BS that you don't want to even be going there as far as, the learning. So another reference point is khalifamedia.com. And at khalifamedia.com, just like rvbaypublications.com, you have published work by Moors. So one of the things that you want to do as a new Moor coming into this information, or a new-minded Moor coming into this information, because you're a Moor regardless whether you know or not, you're a Moor. One of the things that you want to do is make sure that you're learning about Moors from Moors. There's a lot of people that got stuff to say about Moors, positive and negative. But make sure that the people who are speaking about Moors are proclaimed Moors. Right? That's a very good point to take note of. Who is telling me about Moors? Are they Moors themselves? have they been living in this status of being a Moor? How long have they been in this status of being a Moor? How long have they been studying Moorish nationality, Moorish history? You know, the guy who started studying yesterday, you probably don't want to go to that one. Right? So again, Moorish Science Temple of America, you're going to check that. If that's legit and everything's good to go, then you're going to go rvbaypublications.com, do some study in there, get yourself grounded, get some books off there. They got free downloads. You could download stuff off there. They got classes that they do every Wednesday night. They have classes that they do at 7:30 p.m. So you could say that they're private classes. It's not some online thing. It's pay for your class and then you go to your class. All right. And then khalifamedia.com. And when you go there, you're going to get a lot of books from Moorish authors. And when we were talking about this on a live that we did Monday night, that our people would go spend all types of finance on everything except their own learning. They would spend all types of finance on everything except their own people. So when you go to these websites, RV Bay Publications or khalifamedia.com, as a Moorish American, you should be supporting by purchasing things off the website, books and whatever else they have on there. And then not just should you be purchasing things, but you should also be sharing the information that you're receiving. Now, you don't have to be, beating people over the head or anything like that. They got to take this information or anything like that. But you should be letting people who don't know about this. Right? Because, it's like somebody came to the temple on Sunday and they were questioning the idea of Freemasonry. And they were questioning the idea of Freemasonry because somebody told them, oh, being a Moor, oh, that's just Masonry or whatever. Right? So because they came to the temple, they were able to leave with a book that I wrote called Who Stole the Fez, Moors or Shriners? Because that has been a thing that ever since we came into this, it's been talked about. The Moor Shriner, do you have a fez because you're a Shriner? Are you a Mason? Are you a Prince Hall? Right? So when you start studying from the right source, the information is going to go into you. It's going to resonate in your heart. You will trust what it is that the ancestors, the Most High, God, Allah, whatever is giving you based on these words on the page, on the screen or whatever like that. It's going to resonate with you. Once it starts resonating with you, then the information becomes part of you. And when the information starts becoming part of you, this is where the whole idea of the confidence comes from. All right. Because knowledge is power and nothing else. It's all about knowledge. It's all about acquiring knowledge. Once you're acquiring knowledge, especially the right knowledge, that's a spiritual act. That's a metaphysical act, acquiring right knowledge. Because everybody who's in this chat, everybody who's proclaimed their nationality knows that something happens to you internally. You shift into higher realms of thought and existence because of finding out about your nationality and birthrights. And with regard to us, I want to know if I'm a descendant. If you have melanin, you're a descendant. If you have melanin, you are a descendant. And if you're a descendant, then the next thing that you got to do is know that you're a descendant. And again, the only way you're going to know is going to be by studying. And it's extremely important that we're studying. Very important. Once you're studying, the information is going to I'm not saying that this might happen or there's a possibility. You are going to resonate on a higher frequency once you start studying your Moorish nationality and your birthrights. It's going to start resonating with you. And you'll know, you'll feel it. You'll feel it and know. Right? You're going to feel it and know. What advice would you give to fathers explaining Moorish nationality to their other? When we'll go with both genders. When a masculine and feminine being on Moorish science is approaching their significant other with the information, the main thing is to not be a brute with the info. They have to, and if they don't, or whatever like that, right? The best way from Moors who have been down this road already and how it worked for them, the best way is, one, to be what you're claiming, right? You don't have to teach anybody anything. You just be what you're claiming. If you're claiming that you're a Moor, then you should be living as a Moor. In you living as a Moor, and this is from experience of Moors, because Moors have dealt with this. We've had conversations with Moors about these exact same topics. Like, well, how do I get my girl on it? Well, my wife, she doesn't want to know. Or, well, my husband saw me in that turban and he called me Aunt Jemima and all this, right? By you being what it is, that will let them know that you're serious because you're being it, right? So one thing is being what you're claiming. You're claiming you're a Moor, then be that. Be that in the house. Be that when you go to the store, do the groceries. Be that when you're cleaning the toilet. Be that when you're fixing the sink from leaking. Be that when you're taking care of the baby. Be that, right? Another thing is when you're acquiring this information and you're around unconscious Moors. When you're acquiring this information, you're the one that has it. You're reading a book or you're watching something or whatever, right? Let them be the ones to question something. You don't have to bring up that, oh, I read this thing and start talking about what you just read. Right? You be it. If you're sitting there reading, you read. Any logical person, just like today, I had a book on the Job, right? Just had a book, walking around with a book in my hand. Logical people are going to say, hey, what are you reading? Right? I'm not going to go break it down to them. Oh, yeah, well, this is what am I reading? Oh, I'm reading this. No. Oh, that's interesting. Or, oh, I never heard about that before. Or, but leave it on them to do the digging. Right? Leave it on them to ask the questions. You don't have to present anything. Right? So, 1, be it. 2, while you're acquiring the information, don't be so egomaniac with it that you got to put them on to what you know and whatever like that, right? And the most important part that I think is do not take them ignoring you or pretending like they're not interested for granted, because 95% of the time the significant other is in their own way getting connected with the information. If they really love you like that, if they really care about you like that, they're going to back you 100 with your new famed, level of knowledge that you got. They might not be forthcoming with letting you know, well, yeah, I want to learn. And they might be, but if they're not, don't, be upset. Don't be mad or whatever like that. We call it sneak studying. So how you know that they're sneak studying is that you're going to have some type of situation. Let's just say you go to a store, for example, or you go to a store with the family or whatever like that, and some lady you don't know just walks up to you. Oh, wow, those are beautiful kids that you have there, and then you're just there. Oh yeah, thank you very much. You know what I mean? This is little Bay and this is little L, and we're just doing some shopping or whatever like that. And then here comes significant other who's supposed to not know anything, and they weren't studying or whatever. Here they come. Oh, do you know? Well, kids are baby goats, and we don't call them kids. We call them heirs, and we call them offspring and all that stuff. And then you're sitting around looking at them like, hold on a second. What do you know about heirs and offspring and all this stuff? Where you get all that from? You didn't tell me that you were studying. That's how you know that they're sneak studying. Right? So don't ever assume that because they're not showing interest, it means that they want nothing to do with this. Trust me, when you're not looking, they're gonna go look through the book that you got or whatever. They're gonna, you're not home, they're gonna be blasting Taj and all that stuff while you're not home, right? You're on the phone call with the Moors, building or whatever like that. You think that she ain't paying you no mind. She's in the kitchen, frying the chicken or whatever like that. She's listening to everything that you're saying. You're listening to it all. And then the flip side to that is if they're absolutely a terror and want nothing to do with this information, then they're going to make your learning and your whatever a living hell. And they're not going to hold back. It's not going to be some secret or anything like that. It's going to be a living hell. All right? It's going to be a living hell. And at that point, you probably want to get out of this thing because, you know, he or she's not going to be down with this. And you're not going to get any opportunity to learn because you're going to be frustrated all the time because you can't believe that they don't want this info and Noble Drew Ali brought this for us and they don't want it. That, you know, only a handful is going to be saved, Noble Drew Ali said. There's only going to be a handful saved with fingers left over. You know? So make sure that you're in the handful. Make sure you're one of the saved ones. Whoever doesn't want to be saved, let them go wherever they're going. After they go over the bridge, burn the bridge so they can't come back over here. And if they really want to find out, they'll find a way to cross the precipice with no bridge there. They'll find a way if they really care and they want to know. All right. All right, looks like I'm caught up in the chat. All right, so again, if you have any questions, just put it in the chat in all caps, and we'll get to answering that. Oh, are the MSTAs that are operating under a charter not authorized by Prophet Noble Drew Ali? Is that supposed to be, are there MSTAs that are operating like that? More than likely. But keep in mind, authorized by the Prophet is not a reality after 1929 because Noble Drew Ali is not around. So there's no authorized by the Prophet charters in that perspective, unless this charter has been around since 1929. That's the only way that authorized by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is gonna hold some weight. So the charter should be dated or something like that, 1929. You know, Drew Ali's signature on it, so you know that it was authorized by the Prophet. Like our charter is not authorized by the Prophet. Our charter is authorized by Moors who honor the Prophet, by Moors who acknowledge Noble Drew Ali's prophethood. Our charter is authorized by Moors who saw us as the prophecy of Prophet Noble Drew Ali manifesting that he wants temples in Toronto. He wants that here. You know, so us wanting a charter to be Moor Science Temple of America in Toronto was prophecy of Noble Drew Ali. So they said, here's a charter. We're going to put you through the Adab chamber and we're going to give you a charter. Right. Was Noble Drew Ali the last Sultan of Morocco? Noble Drew Ali would have been, well, I mean, he did make reference to him being a prince. He made reference to him being a general. He made reference to him being a prophet. He made reference to him being an Egyptian adept. As far as writing, there's nothing that said he was a sultan, but based on this being the Moroccan Empire, based on him being the dignitary that he was, meeting with all these different quote unquote heads of state, whether it's for de facto or de jure heads of state, then yeah, the status could be looked at as he was assaulting too. You know, if he was a general, then yeah, he could be assaulting too. Yeah, you know, yeah, he's all of it. You know, he's Sultan. He's the high priest. He's the holistic practitioner. You know, he's the principal. He's oh yeah. There was also reference of him being president. You know, and for as far as the Morocco part, yeah, the last for Morocco of the East. Yeah. Yeah. Are MSTAs operating not under the charter of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, operating fraudulent by law and overthrowing divine law? You mean if they are calling themselves MSTA, but they don't have a charter? Yeah, they're operating fraudulently. Because if they're calling themselves MSTA, they should have a charter. And then you should be able to check the Moors who autographed the charter to see if they're legit. There should be a track record to show that, oh yeah, these Moors are legit. You know, but again, you know, every Moor science temple has to have a charter. But you know, if the leadership is backwards, the charter is still going to be the charter. It's the ones who don't have a charter but call themselves MSTA. Right, so there's body politics of Moors who they call themselves Moorish whatever, but then they're using things of the Moorish Science Temple or the Moorish Divine National Movement. That's fraudulent, right? Because they should have some type of connection to Noble Drew Ali and what he presented. Like they should have that. It's supposed to be that all Moorish Science temples have a charter. Do all Moorish Science temples have a charter? No, I know we have a charter. Do all of them have one? I don't know if all of them have one. But again, if they don't, but they're calling themselves Moorish Science Temple of America or Moorish Holy Temple of Science, then that stuff is in question. Because they should have it. Right? They should have it. They should have a charter for the Moorish Science Temple. It would be in their best interest to have that. You know, because again, this is divine and it's national. So when they take the position of exercising under the Moorish Divine and National Movement, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Moorish Science Temple of America, without things like charters and grand sheiks and whatever, they're just operating because they think that they can. They're you know, fire's going to touch their coattails. It's only a matter of time before they get it. Well, that's why we always bring up with Moors that, hey, you know, when you look at Canaanland Moors and you look at our timeline, you know, from 2008 to 2023, we can see how many people came and fell off. And then that just lets you know If they came and fell off like that, right? If they came and fell off like that, then it's very possible that they got it, whatever judgment they got that from the soul plane. If they got it from the soul plane, you already know it's Juali at work. Juali at work, where these people thought they're getting away with something, when you can't get away with anything, especially in a fraudulent nature, dealing with disinformation. Right? It's fraudulent. So some things that you might see, that you see people doing, and you're questioning, damn, are they legitimate? Are they whatever like that? Don't worry about them. Let Juali deal with them from the soul plane. Let Allah deal with them. Let Allah deal with them. By law, corporate law established corporations' obligations to operate. The affidavit by Prophet Noble Juali is de jure, the charter that sanctioned MSTA, which protects Moors under freedom of religion. Well, Moors have the constitutional right to a religion. That's not a temple thing. Right to a religion didn't come from the temple. Right to a religion is protected by the Constitution, which is the supreme law. The Moorish Science Temple of America is a venue for Moors to be able to exercise their rights as far as their religious, political rights, but they don't need that. Like, we know Moors who, they don't got no temples where they're at, and they're exercising as Moors. They go to tribunal. You need to take that off. No, this is my religious headdress. Oh, sorry about that. No problem. They're not saying they're Moorish Science Temple members or anything like that. So you can't even look at it like that. Don't get pigeonholed into thinking that it has to be the temple or something like that, because these people did so much dirt with the Moorish Science Temple in certain jurisdictions. You start talking about the temple and they're looking at you like, oh yeah, these people are sellouts, because that's all they know of Moorish Science Temple. Certain jurisdictions, not all across the board. Certain jurisdictions where they know there was a sellout. As soon as somebody claims Moorish or whatever like that, they're throwing them under the temple, and then using the fact that these people are a fraud who's been saying that they're Moorish Science Temple to not have these people's rights recognized or acknowledged. When it's supposed to be Constitution, why they recognize that. It's supposed to be Constitution. It's supposed to be, like the Moor said, divine law, nature's law. Not statutes, codes, ordinances, judge said. They have nothing to do with religious rights. Now, if you have a corporate religion, then yeah, they have something to do with that. If the religion is corporate, then there's no religious rights. Those are privileges, not rights, which is where a majority of people get stuck. Because they start hearing about Moorish Science Temple and they start going into this religious thing without even acknowledging that, oh, Moorish Science Temple flies a national flag. So obviously that's a national organization. And then Noble Juali told him that this is a national organization with a Rotarian complexion. Right? All right. Any other questions come up, just put them in the chat. Is there a correct position the crescent moon star should be facing? What makes a nationality card valid? Is there specifications a card must follow? My 6-year-old son's question: how old do I have to be to wear a fez? Great questions. So is there a correct position the crescent moon and star should be facing? So when we check the Moorish literature, the Moorish symbology, you would notice that the crescent star is always facing the east, right? Crescent star is always facing the east. When you check the 101 questionnaire, cards facing the east. When you check nationality card, crescent and stars facing the east. So the pattern has been to have it facing the east, right? Which is why Nation of Islam has their flag facing the west, because they're doing their own thing. They're not doing what ancient foremothers and forefathers did. They're doing their own thing. Right? They have it facing the west. Right? And then remember that with the crescent, and with the crescent facing the directions, you know that those are the phases, right? Those are the phases, right? In both directions, those are the phases between half full and full, right? Which is all astrology. It's all astrology. Between half full and full. So when we get the facing, when we get the facing west, when we get the facing west and the facing east of the crescent moon, that's the waning and the waxing. The waxing is facing west, the waning is facing east. And again, remember that it's all astrological. It's all astrological. And it's great. It's great to, just study those realms, especially the mothers when it comes to the moon. What connection does the moon have to you? Like studying that and knowing that, you can just Google waning and waxing moon, and the amount of information that's going to come up, ample amounts of information is going to come up with regard to that. They talk about all the different orders, or talk about the different phases of the moon, and then the order that it comes in, because it's a repetitive cycle. It's not, like it's just like that for no reason. It's a cycle, right? It's a cycle, cycles. And then also too, when you look at the waxing and the waning moon, right? You also have to consider the new moon is the start again, right? The cycle, the new moon, and then the phases start, and then the new moon, and then the phases start, and you go through the waxing, the first quarter, the waxing, the waning. It's all part of the science of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. That is what we're just supposed to be resonating with. You know, it's all part of our ancient foremothers and forefathers' divine lessons. Because we're not just physical beings. You know, and Noble Drew Ali knew this. So he put these things as far as the symbology, you know, for us to be able to expound on our knowledge base. You know, it's supposed to be constant elevation, constant learning. We're not just learning, you know, one day, and then after that, okay, forget it. Everything's all right after that. Right? What makes a nationality card valid? Is there specifications a card must follow? Well, a card should have the picture of the individual. It should have the thumbprint of the individual. It should have their appellation. It should have their race. It should have their solar return. It should have hair color, eye color, height, weight. It should have a mailing location. It should have an autograph. It should definitely have some type of representative of the nation or a flag on it, you know, something relative. The picture should have a Moor in their turban or their fez. It should be coming from a body. You know, it's not you know, an individual at their house making a card and saying that you know, that's their nationality card. It should be something that has been put out pre, you know, you saying I want a nationality card. They should have already been doing this thing. It shouldn't be something that just popped up yesterday. Right? But really what makes the card valid is the individual who holds the card. That card's useless if that individual doesn't know what that card is. So yes, there's specifications of the card that make it quote unquote valid, but the reality is the validation of the card is based on the individual holding it. Does that individual know what they have when they pull that out? And how old do I have to be to wear a fez? You could be any age. As long as the fez fits, you could wear a fez. Because that's your headwear. That's the headwear of your ancestors. And just like the nationality card, the one who wants to wear the fez, The one who says, I want a fez, it's time for me to get a fez, then they should have knowledge of what that is. Right? You should have knowledge of the team if you're going to wear their hat. Not just wear their hat just because you want to, you feel like it. But somebody who's really down with it, somebody who's really, been watching the Yankees for generations, and they start asking you about, well, who's your favorite player and all that stuff, and you start talking about some other guy on some other team, you're going to look like a fraud. Right? So as soon as you start questioning about your fez and you don't know what it is, so if you are going to have a fez, make sure you know what that fez is. But age is, age matters not. Once it could fit, you could have a fez. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't either, especially if you're 6 and you're asking about, could I wear a fez? Oh yeah, you're ready. Just for asking, you're ready. Just for asking. Is there a right or wrong way to proclaiming your nationality? Just like we were saying with the fez, it's all about the mind. You're not going to proclaim your nationality until your mind is right. You're not going to be, I'm a Moor, and then you're backhanding your girl or your wife or whatever, and talk about, yeah, I'm a Moor. I'm going to proclaim my nationality now. You got some stuff to work on still. Slow down. All right. The way that you do it is mental. Nothing happens in the physical until it happens in the mental. It has to happen in the mental first for it to have any type of power in the physical existence. So when we say proclaiming your nationality, and then people start running at you with all these different papers that you're going to need in order to proclaim your nationality and really be a Moor, because these are the papers that... Check your mind first and see if your mind's right. If your mind's not right, then don't even talk about proclaiming anything. Go somewhere and go study for a little bit. And go study for a little bit. Is there a difference between meditating in a black condition or meditating as a Moor? When you're talking about meditating, you're talking about spirituality. You're talking about breath work. If you're talking about breath work, you're talking about frequency and vibration. If your status is dead, you're not going to be too sure what you're calling to yourself if you start doing these meditations, if you start doing affirmations, if you start listening to binary beats and taking shrooms and doing all these things. The whole purpose of that realm, that yoga, meditation culture, is for man to really know themselves, right? To know more than the physical existence. So we know people who are, in a black status, for example, that meditate. And they're going to say, yeah, they had a great meditation and the energy is flowing in them. And, you know, everything's going to be, you know, right in tune. And then you talk with national from wherever, any national, about the same thing, meditating, going within. And I'm pretty sure the experience is going to be different just because of the whole status. Because the condition, like they say, the condition of the mother is that of the child. Well, the condition of the meditator or the condition of the one meditating is going to determine where that individual goes in their meditation. So once you know yourself, once there's the ability to tap in, and everybody has the ability. I'm not going to say, you know, because they're black, they can't meditate or whatever. I'm saying that because they're black and that has a frequency behind it, them meditating in that condition is not going to put them into the highest frequency. And it's not nothing personal against them. That's just how we're looking at it, because status is the first issue in everything. Right? Status is the first issue in everything. The first thing is status. The first thing is status. What is your status? Right, so like we said, you go to tribunal, first thing is status. Status is the first issue at law. Status is the first issue at meditating. What's your status? Status is the first issue, you know, before you go on the court. Are you bantam or are you NBA? If you're bantam, then you probably have to go on the kiddies court. You're not going to be over here with people windmilling and catching lobs and all that, because you're going to be over there looking like a dummy. Can anyone wear the black fez? Counter question. Can anyone wear a black belt? Same concept. Right? How a black belt is in martial arts is how a black fez is in Moorish science. So when somebody has black fez on, then they should be like a black belt intellectually, spiritually. Because again, you start putting on black fezzes and you don't know what you're doing. When you get challenged and then you can't defend it, you're going to be in trouble. Right? Just like you put on a black belt and you go into the dojo talking about, where's the master in here? The master comes out, you know what I mean? Little old man with his little cane and all that stuff. You talk about, this guy's your master? Then he gives you the one inch punch and all that. Then you'll realize that you're effed up. You realize that you effed up. You oopsed. You shouldn't have oopsed. Right? Right. What? Let's see if we got anything else in here. Do you still get offers to join friends, family, etc. for Thanksgiving? Yep, get for Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and you name it. You name it. You always get the invite to partake in the festivities. One thing I've taken away from this from over the years is that if you're an individual, majority of the Moors, before they were Moors, they were the loved whatever of the family, the favorite cousin, the favorite uncle, the favorite son, the favorite whatever, right? So there was an expectation that you're going to be there at the whatever, right? And then when we came into the Moor science, then we became the Moor sheep, and then nobody wants us around anymore. And you're always talking about this Moorish thing, and you're always whatever. So, I'm a foodie. I'm a fat boy. Right? If food's there, right, I'm going. I don't care what they're doing. If there's food there that I could eat, I'm going. So it took a little bit to come to the realization that, it doesn't have to be Moorish from my mouth all the time. I can just be mute, put my turban on, be mute, go there and eat the food. And that's all. I don't have to go there to go teach anybody or anything like that. But I can go there and get my plate, especially when whoever makes that macaroni pie or whatever, or your favorite whatever that auntie's gonna make, that ever since childhood and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Oh man, I wanna go, but I can't go because I'm a Moor and I don't celebrate Thanksgiving and all this stuff. And then, yeah, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Go to the stuff, right? Just be yourself, but you don't have to say a word. All you got to say is pass the container over there with the. That's all you got to say, right? Because I know Moors who they lost family and stuff like that playing this thing. Or, well, if they're not gonna respect me more, then I'm, God, you already know these people aren't. You already know these people aren't gonna be on it, regardless of what. Regardless of what, they're not gonna be on it like that. So. Why should you miss the dinner? Favorite cousins going, you ain't seen them in 3 years and all that stuff. And then you're not going because of some, well, they don't respect the Moors and all that. Well, if you don't go, they still don't respect the Moors. So what the hell does it matter? You might as well go and get your plate. Your little favorite cousin, who you are, or when you go there, she's going to be on you, make her day, right? Your little cousin wants to beat your ass in 2K or whatever like that. You already know you're gonna smash him in 2K. You might as well go smash him in 2K and have your plate. Right? You don't gotta fight it like that. We don't got to go there to teach them about, it's really thanks-taking and all that stuff, because they don't care. They're going to be back there next year with Thanksgiving again, right? So don't take it personal like that. Don't mess up some other people's wanting you around, right? Because we're the favorite for a reason. Right? We're the favorite for a reason. We're the one that everybody likes when we come around for a reason. You know, whether it's your energy, whether it's your smile, whether it's your intelligence, whether, you know, whatever it is, right? All the Moors who are the Moor sheep in their family are the ones that when they went to the Christmas dinner where everybody's going, or when you go to the reunion or whatever like that, you're the one everybody's, hey, you made it, and all that, right? Right? Yeah, and that too. You know, you be go showing up there in your turban, or you show up there in your fez or whatever like that, then all your Masonic uncles popping up all of a sudden. All of a sudden, all your Masonic uncles popping up, and then they're taking you down to the den, you know, pushing the candle holder and go through the door, you know what I mean, hole in the wall and all that stuff, just because you went with your fez on. Taking you to the library downstairs and all that stuff. Like, you had all this stuff all this time? You didn't say anything? Well, I didn't know you. I didn't know you were a Moor. You know, put on your turban, auntie with the big church hat, taking you into the room and all that stuff. The black box in the attic. You know, baby. You know, I used to be an Eastern Star, baby. We Christian, baby. I used to be Eastern Star. I was the grand matron. Auntie, you're a grand matron? You didn't say anything? How long you have this box up here? Baby, go eat some sweet potato pie, baby. We're going to talk later. We'll talk later. Crazy. So don't cop out because of some, you know, you heard some Moors, you know, oh man, Thanksgiving? Oh, we don't celebrate that. Oh, Christian, oh no, we don't celebrate that. That's not our culture. That's the Christian's culture and all that. Yeah, we know it's Christian culture. We know it's good. We also know that Auntie's bringing that callaloo, you know, that cake, sponge cake with the raisins. And then she's making an eggless one for you and all that stuff because she heard you're a vegetarian. You better go get your cake. You better go get your cake. You know, don't be too rigid in the Moorish. You know, be like water, my friend. Be like water. Be like water. It'll make your life a lot easier. You'll be a lot less stressed because now, you know, you're not going there to prove something to them that you already know. Even though you bring all the facts and all that stuff, they're not hearing nothing you say. Then you're going to be frustrated. That you're going to be sitting there bummy on that. They don't want to hear what I'm saying. I brought the books and all that stuff. You lug in your bag with all your books in there and all that stuff. Yeah, don't even waste your time. You're going there to eat some food. That's all. You're going there to be around the kin. You're not going there to teach them more science or anything like that. And trust me, just like the sneak studying with the mate and all that stuff, trust me, as soon as you go with your turban or fez or whatever, you know, you're going to have the little whoever's popping up, you know, the uncles and the whatever popping up that used to be Masons and all that. But then you're gonna get, you know, the one or two who, hey, you're a Moor? Man, I was just studying this thing about the Moors and all that stuff. And then it would be the person that you least expect to be the one to come up to you. Your drunk uncle is the one that's gonna come up to you. Hey, hey, Moor. It's gonna be drunk uncle will come up. Hey, Moor. I knew you were a Moor when I saw you walking with the fez on. I knew you were a Moor. I saw it in your eyes. Start talking like Sylvester and all that. It'll be the one that you least expect. Shock the hell out of you that they know. You know? Your cousin, your little wheelchair cousin, dribbling and all that stuff with the retarded. He go in and get the cardboard fez on, bringing the Bristol board fez. Cousin, look, I made fez for you. We Moors. We're Moors, cousin. Trust me. It's a real thing. You'll be surprised. You'd blow your top. When you just go there. Just go there. Just go with your turban or your fez. You don't have to say anything. Just go in the turban. Oh, nice hat you got there and all that stuff. People start it gets crazy. It gets crazy. Sometimes it gets too intense. You know? Sometimes it gets too intense. Right? It might get too intense. You're bubble boy. The moops! No, not the moops, the Moors! Bubble boy cousin backing you. He's a Moor. He's not black. Stop calling him black. He's a Moor. Aren't you a Moor, cousin? Bubble boy got you. Don't worry. Don't worry. All right. And then you're going to have weird ones. You know, you're going to have weird ones. You're going to go down to go play 2K and then you put in some game and then the fez in the game. You're just looking at him. Just looking at him. What the? Uncle, did you know? Uncle, look, he has a hat like yours in the video game. Yep. Just because you went to the Christmas dinner that you weren't going to go to because you're a Moor and you don't celebrate Christmas. So I'm not going to the Christmas dinner because Drew Ali said January 8th is our Christmas. So the 25th, we don't have to go to the... Stop it. Stop it. All right. Trust me. It's gonna be interesting. Trust me. All right. So if it rolls up, if you get the call, right? If you get the call on Saturday, I know you don't celebrate, but we're just go just to see. You don't got to stay all night. Base it on how the vibe is. When you pop up in your fez or your turban, just base it on how the vibe is. When the 25th comes around and you get the call, we're having a family. We just wanted to know if you want. We know you don't celebrate, but we just thought we'll ask you if you wanted to. Oh yeah, I'll be there. So just make sure you save my plate. I'll be there. And just see what happens. Guarantee something's gonna happen. Guarantee 100%. 100%, something's going to happen. Right. Guarantee something's going to happen. Shock the hell out of you. Honors to all the Moors. Supreme honors. Supreme honors to all the Moors. Do I have to wear a scarf as a Moorish woman? Well, in the Moorish culture, it's, it's good to, um, have yourself covered out of respect for yourself, right? Um, so covering the head, covering the cleavage, covering the, the stuff, the junk and all that stuff, you know, just out of respect for self. But we already know, this is life. This is not church or whatever. So, if you wear tights or something, or, you don't wear a turban or anything like that, you're not going to get struck down by lightning or anything like that. You'll be all right. But, just test it out. Just test it out. Go out one day with a turban on and just see what the response is. And then go out one day without and see what the response is. Just for the experience. Just take a scarf, put it on your head like a hijab one day. And just see what the reaction is. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Matter of fact, if you go to khalifamedia.com, there's a book there called Muslim Girls Training Guide. Muslim Girls Training Guide. Get that book and then read that book with regard to, as a Moorish woman, to see what the see what the rules and regulations are for being a Moorish woman. Some of it's intense, but some of it is actually it's very interesting. It's very interesting, because we Moorish culture is a beautiful culture. It's absolutely beautiful, especially when the mothers are being their Moorish selves. You're looked at totally different. You're treated totally different. We know that it's hard because some women, the conditioning, especially when it comes to dress code and stuff like that, it's hard to stick to it. It's work. It's work. Just because it takes some serious commitment. But guarantee you, it will be a very eye-opening, soul-opening experience being your Moorish divine feminine self and going out into the world. It's going to be a great experience, guarantee you. Guarantee you. And again, even if you just do something small, like just put a scarf over your head like a hijab and just go outside one day and just see how you're treated. Even flexing on yourself, put your hijab on and go in the mirror, and look at yourself dressed in your Moorish culture and see how it feels, and then take it off and look at yourself. You could even put it on and then put the veil so only your eyes are showing and all that stuff, just to see, just to feel what it's like. It's different. It's definitely different. It's interesting. Noble Jolly was really onto something for real. Right? Like the mother said in the chat, some woman wears fez too, and turban. And it speaks on behavior that should have been natural for us. Right? So they got women into this thing of, you know, if you go back, the best thing is just go look up in Google Images Moorish women paintings, and then see how the Moors used to dress, right? How the Moorish women used to dress, and then how they dress now, right? Just so you could see the contrast of how far they took us from where we originally were. You know, look at you know, just like when you look up Moorish palaces, you know, they look up Moorish palaces and you see the Moors in their palace, and then you look at Moors today in apartments and in houses, and you know, um, how far they removed us from who we really are. Like it's absolutely amazing. It's amazing. Oh, and another mother said in the chat also too, with your bindi, your paki dot. You put your paki dot on, and then see how different they treat you with your little dot, or maybe your three dots. You might put the dots, you know, going all the way down, you know, the middle of the forehead, you know, and then stop at the brow with one dot. You know, it's crazy, crazy. It's very it's surreal. That's the word. It's surreal when you start being yourself. Especially the Moorish women. The Moorish women being themselves is a whole different thing. You know, you stop getting hit on and you start getting compliments. You know, because you know, once you're your Moorish self, then the man is not looking at you like, you know, Ice Spice and whoever anymore. You know what I mean? My mother wears her turban to work every day. Right? You're not getting, you know, what they call the thing, cat calls and all that stuff. You're not getting cat calls anymore. You know? Yeah, good morning, ma'am. Good day, ma'am, and all that. You're wondering what the hell's going on. What vortex did I go into? You know, these men are respectful all of a sudden. You know, but then, you know, of course, you know, here comes Hoochie Mama right behind you, and then he's going right back to the cat call and all that stuff, because you know the men attention span is short. You know, but don't forget 7:30 p.m. rvbaypublications.com. Just go to the homepage on rvbaypublications.com, and you will definitely get all the info for the 7:30 classes every Wednesday. Peace and love to all the Moors in the chat. Honors for all your input, all your comments, all your questions. Honors to the Moors who emailed their questions. And you know, we're gonna do this every Wednesday for as long as we can. You know, until there's no more questions. So every Wednesday, 5 p.m., sometimes 6 p.m., depending on, you know, schedule and whatever. We'll be right here to answer your questions, at least for an hour and a half, 2 hours. But honors to all the Moors worldwide. Supreme honors to the grand illustrious prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Honors to the forerunner, Marcus Garvey. Honors to all the mothers worldwide. Peace and love to you. Thank you for giving us life. Honors, supreme honors Peace and love, Moors. Much love. Islam.
This is what it feels like. 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 People running up to me that I don't know. Are you a prince? They ask, tell them I'm from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water, watch the lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts with Moors, they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where? The farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in their wallet, pull out pictures with feathers, breaking down the ring, then the mason confesses. He's at 33 degrees, now the combo stretches like yoga into esoteric metaphysic lessons. When my people aren't like me, he impresses. When we take Moorish science to the highways and hedges. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
They tried to get you to think again. That's the profit. I'm upright, don't need a friend. And you can't stop this. I'ma write with my pen. Violate me and I'ma send writs again. Remain cautious, cause often it's in again. That's in the police out, just the silence men. When they bust through your door, you won't breathe again. Nationality will show you how to live again. It can change the predicament you're living in. You can heal the whole world without medicine. Only truth can make you a better man. Why lie? Cause you got paid to murder men. Then you try to lock them up when they riot in. That's okay, cause for freedom I'm diving in. With no knowledge, you come back to die again. Resurrect me not, cause I'd rather be one with Allah.
This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.